Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Okay. My name is Jim Everhart, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have our members present include Bruce Hess, Chris Cretin, and Diane Tyson. And we have from the township, we have Tara Hitchens, Township Manager, Kim Eastback, did I pronounce that? Eastback, Assistant Township Manager, and Lisa Cleveland, as well as, of course, Stephanie Leapway, our intrepid note. So, thank you very much. Okay, so, oh, and I'm sorry, for John, sorry. Hi, Thomas, Director of Public Works. You're right, Jen, if you touch me here, it's okay. Okay. What you working with this?
I believe this is the flag of the United States. To the republic for which it stands, nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay. So, I'm feeling I'm not gonna lift that down too. I'll come back. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, all right. Has everyone read the minutes of the meeting from September 24th?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Okay. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're approved. Public concerns and comments. So we put Mr. Cody here on the on the top of the list. So please come and address us, and feel free to even come up here because I'll be honest with you, I can't hear real well sometimes. Thank you. Oops. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, I'll read it and then I'll give it to you and you can enter it in the minutes. Okay. I appreciate the board again. I was here 2 years ago and then due to some throat issues at a car accident, I sort of disappeared for 2 years. I did not want the board to think I was no longer interested. Today, I've brought Tyler Martin, owner of T-Bones Construction, who will be laying the concrete foundation by Sport Court. I have a picture that is mostly what I was envisioning. Yes, that's it. Right. The court would be a different color and might be rec size rather than pro size. I shared with Tyler my thought of extending the concrete foundation to attach 2 pickleball courts with a 10-foot fence in between the basketball courts, but that might exceed the cost my wife and I have agreed to. I was shooting for the court to be available by this summer, 2026. Okay, that's it. That's it. So you can put that in. Do we want to? So I see we even have a color image of that. Do you guys want to talk to us, address us a little bit more? So
Maybe Tyler.
yeah, do you want Tyler? Do you want to talk?
So he's looking to get a basketball court and that pickleball court for kids in the community, because there's not much in that area behind. It's a Flory Park. It's behind the shopping center. Shopping center is there. The shopping center, yes, there's not much back there for kids. So I guess his idea is just to.
Behind Park, the pavilion, is it in that black
Yes.
area behind the pavilion?
Yes.
Between the two driveways, they not drive.
Yeah, between the two driveways.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Like they have a basketball court that's there, it's all ran down, like, kids, you see the kids playing there, he wants to play. It's like country, but it's not much fun.
Okay,
I mean, it's growing up, I have friends that lived in there too, and we were basketball players, and football players. Local high school, in Cascade CV, and we couldn't play basketball there too, we had to go into the city or other parks, and so I guess he's just trying to bring the image to local area.
okay.
He wants to start a league and
How long do you anticipate this project, being underway? How long do you anticipate that it would take?
well, we have to find more ins and outs about like just the zoning and stuff, what we would need, like more. Whatever, so I mean, that would all factor into the time, like actually what we need, well, we just kind of brought the idea to it. And I just wanted to kind of back his play and say like, hey, we need this, or what do we need as far as, the water runoff. The part, that's the side there, just more of the details factors, but it won't take, I couldn't even tell you, it won't take too long.
So Charlie, do you have any questions for them at this point? I mean, I assume they're gonna have to coordinate with you about, making sure everything is.
We would need a drawing a plan, size, stormwater. Yeah, grading,
So,
E&S.
Is there the option of using pervious pavement or concrete? It would reduce the stormwater facilities.
Yeah, the pervious will allow the water to go down through.
Yeah.
Instead of having it run off and then have to put in some type of underground storage or something like.
yeah.
Any idea how much concrete you talking?
It'll be around 6,000 square foot, so we're probably talking a couple hundred yards, 100-something yards. So I mean, it's definitely,
That's.
I mean, it's too much. We're gonna have like a 1% pitch on it just because you don't want the ball,
Right.
But they still have to put some type of, some drain water infrastructure. Small residential, we go with just smaller pits, but I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't.
You're looking at fencing around the outside of it
We're
or?
gonna put fencing in between the pickleball court and the basketball court, being the bigger area with like no main roads or anything. Put a fence in, spend the money and put a fence in around, unless.
It's nice to put a low fence around just so you don't have to chase the ball.
Yeah.
I'm probably the only guy here that plays pickleballs. I'm kind of an avid pickleball player and I object to courts where you gotta go 100 yards to pick the ball up after you whacked it. Yeah, that's a big. I'm an old guy. I don't want to go any further than that.
But I think it's good to have it. I was thinking that you were talking about it, they would be. That you couldn't use them both at the same time, but I guess you could with the fencing and everything. That sounds good. Good.
I know Greenfield is designed with there's a tennis court on one end and pickleball courts are run this way. And if they play at the same time, it's just not a good thing. This
Yeah.
pickleball's going over the tennis and the tennis going over the pickleball. It's just
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah.
I guess he basically just wanted to bring it to the attention, and then I guess we work permits and zoning, drawings. I guess you gotta start step one first.
Yeah.
There's be a combination court pickleball and baseball.
Yep. Yeah, the original problem was like 120 by 60, but I think he might. Yeah, we have the basketball court and then extend it farther.
Okay, I'm sorry, okay, never mind.
So the fence, I think, would be like 10 feet off the basketball court and then 10 feet off the pickleball court, so you have to space more.
You're talking about two separate courts.
Any one of them electric, I don't know if there's a pavilion has electric, so some type of electric underneath for a scoreboard, possibly, maybe some lights,
Wow.
just like a.
And you were talking about 2 pickleball courts when you were doing this? Yeah. Single one to get lost.
Be 2 courts would be about the width of the basket.
Okay, okay. All right.
Secure financing for all this thing.
I was wondering if there was any finances available as well, just see if there was anything left over, or you have that thing to offer, or you have to totally pay for everything. There's something we can come up with, you know, at the end of the year is probably more lower side, extend it to next year and see if we can get some type of help. I think he was saying like 70 him, or 30 him and 70 you guys, or something like that. So.
We're getting budget. The board is actually meeting on Tuesday to go through the work. It's unlikely, but for funding through the township, we could look at opportunities for grant funding.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think it's a worthy project. Okay. Well, I'm fine, I can't.
Yeah, the estimate 50,000, but he thinks that it's gonna exceed that. So he got up to 150,000 that he's willing to put out. So if it's anything under that, then he'll take care of all covers. But I was just trying to save him some.
Yeah, there may be an opportunity if my son works in concrete. There may be some ability to get discounts based on the kind of project that it is from local concrete provider.
Yeah, the thing to consider that if we attempt to look at grant opportunities and those would be applied by the township, then it's a township project, it goes through, it would go through the township, it would be prevailing wage, which increases the cost of the project. But I just want you to keep that in.
My only, I love public-private partnership piece of this. My only concern is the location for pickleball. Because other entities that have pickleball courts that are close to residential areas, there's a lot of complaints from the residents about the noise for pickleball. And I just don't know if there's another spot in the park that would be further away from the residential part that would make better sense.
Is it close to housing there?
Yeah, I mean, because it is close to the houses there right along, was it Donner Drive or whatever road that is? I mean, and that's my only trepidation. I mean, it makes sense there, you know, because it's flat. It's, you know, parking's there, you know, but I could potentially see some issues down the road with the pickleball part.
I don't want to do that because I don't do this.
I would say, is there a time limit for the park?
Yeah.
They play down at Bookmuller, and that's dawn to dusk. And that's the time frame.
Yeah, I mean, I know we haven't really talked about what's gonna happen on the Strasburg park, Pikes side of the park, up above, you know, the hill where Newstayer's house is. And I don't know if anything up there is conducive. Yeah, again, I know there's more rock up there and there's other issues, but that's the only thing that I'm a little concerned.
Grading issues up there, as I said, there is some rock outcrop. And we're not going to touch the property that's leased currently, future date.
Yeah, well, I don't. Land do they own top of there?
Over 2 acres.
So it goes to the top of the hill.
Parking and everything, so that taking the project price way up.
Because we'd have to have ADA accessible to it.
And you're getting into NPDS permits because you're probably over an acre of disturbance and yeah,
only trepidation with it.
So I think that the board already knows that area is currently used for movie night. And we'd have to potentially find a different location for movie
Just have it for the
night.
movies.
It's something,
Full, court.
if people brought chairs, they could sit on them.
Yeah, there's gonna be grass left.
Yeah.
I mean, movie night's easy to move. That's,
Yeah, I'm
in the
not,
scheme of things, that's not an impediment to this
yeah,
project, but, yeah, that's my only concern is the potential for neighbor issues with pickleball.
At this point, I'd have no problems saying probably just a basketball court and pickleball, maybe the different position. The basketball court in there, basketball is not as noisy or as much as pickleball. Put that in there for now. And if you want to have pickleball another time, find another place. So even so for next year for the timeline, with everything you have to go through the township, everything Charlie has to get okay and everything, I think probably next year probably be pretty aggressive. Anything, Charlie, how you get all this through, something like that.
You submit plans and permitting reviews. Yes,
April is very aggressive.
yeah, April, May.
I mean, just the pavilion there, Lafayette's taking what, 2 years?
It's a great, all for it, but that's, you're dealing with the government here, red tape, you know, and stuff and procedures.
Is there any pickleball in the township at all?
At Greenfield.
There you go, okay.
I mean, I have no problem with it working, work with the township to figure it out.
yeah.
But on the financing end and the construction end of things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I guess, once again, I'd say thank you to you, Mr. Cody, for agreeing to, for making this generous offer. And I guess what I'd say is, yeah, we want to take advantage of it and do what we can to, ask you to work with, Charlie and, with the township staff, Tara and everybody to kind of work these details out, but I think it's a great idea. Do we need, so this is basically at this point, we're just saying, okay, so here's where we stand and here's where we are, kind of bringing this thing up. Now, I guess now we get down to the point of starting to put plans together. I guess what we'd say is, do you need a resolution from us or anything like that to say we support this in concept and ask the township staff to work out the details? Do you need that from us?
Like you made one.
So what?
It's like you made one.
Yeah.
We consider this generous offer. Give it to the supervisors to flesh out.
I think it's just basketball for now and then see where I would say,
I would say it sounds like that. Rather than
ball and go. Football along.
Basketball,
The only thing that would-
Okay, so motion, it's been seconded. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
for persisting.
We're glad to see you back. You're back. Thank you. Who's that? Yeah. All right. Well, that was exciting. It was more exciting. Okay. Okay. Oh, and also public and concerns. Do we have anything from Nick? Does he want to bring anything up? Nope. No. Okay. All right, then we'll proceed. Thank you. Reports? We lost Tom. Last buildings and trails, so.
So the trail construction for Strasburg Pike to Oakview, that had to have a pre-construction meeting with LCCD, and that happened, and that will actually be starting construction next Monday, the 20th.
Oh, yeah.
The, for buildings closing the restrooms on 11/11, or prior to 11/11. The porta johns will be delivered soon for the winter months into the park. And, I think he wanted to go through the stream bank restoration that's happening at Flory Park right now.
I'm sorry, what was
Stream bank restoration at.
Oh, wow.
Lots of big equipment down there.
Wow. That's exciting.
Photos to show of what's been done. This was an MS4 project in which the township sewer authority provided funding for design and permitting. And then landowner Susie Sutton and LCCD, Lancaster County Conservation District, worked together to obtain an Exelon grant to pay for the actual construction. While it was under construction, township staff was able to go in and clean out the sediment deposits under the bridge that you use to enter Flory Park, Strasburg Pike. So this is the finished product, without plantings at this point, but the finished product at the bridge entering Flory Park. Both sides of the bridge were redone, and then as you go down the stream, you can see it was further completed with a layback of the stream beds to the point at which the authority owns the property. We did not enter into an agreement with the authority and Lancaster County Conservation District because of the sewer lines being so close to the creek. And then it continues down parallel to Strasburg Pike where it meets Mill Creek. Now, I'm not sure if plantings will be able to be completed this year yet, or if they'll need to wait till spring.
The grass is starting to grow already.
I was gonna say, is that gonna be like a low shrub type thing, or is it?
So
gonna be
in
trees?
some spaces, there will be low vegetation, and in other spaces, there will be larger trees and shrubs to maintain a visual barrier to the residents along Strasburg Pike from the park.
As of today, they were down behind Susie's house, taking the rest of the trees out, and they're starting to put logs into the embankments like they did at Gibbons when they did that stream bank restoration to hold the banks, and they're really shaping things up real nice down through there.
How long do they expect that kind of restoration to hold up? I mean, obviously you don't do that every year.
No, I mean, Gibbons was done 5-6 years ago, and it looks great. I'm
So
hoping
it lasts a long time.
Yeah, the way they shape the banks when it does flood down there, it's going to come up and go down instead of just hammering into the embankments and washing the dirt away. And so they straighten the stream out, put some, as you can see in the upper part of the picture, that's where the logs were put into the embankment, and they put rocks behind that to help support everything.
So they support them.
It's the same gentleman doing this that did Flory Park up at the other end, and also did Gibbons Park. It's the same gentleman contractor doing it. It's starting to turn green already, but just debate if the plantings are gonna happen this year, not springtime planting.
This, as like you said, Diane, was a great private-public partnership.
Mhm.
And will reduce our by 70. Which I know you say when, but it's this much of how much we need to reduce overall.
Yeah, we need hundreds of thousands of pounds.
I think it just helps further the goals of MS, and basically it helps. It's more credit for achieving those.
That's correct.
Yeah. One thing that presumably, as I remember when they first talked about this, the idea is that it's going to be more natural. And so that it should hold up because it's closer to, it's that we put stuff, banks on stuff to make it and created the problem that we have now that we're trying to deal with. So,
Yeah, the water has started, if you've been at Gibbons lately, but you can see the bottom of that stream.
wow.
It cleans the water tremendously.
You may recall Charlie talked about a stream fish shocking at Gibbons, which showed the fish coming back into the creek quality, which is fantastic. It means the creek's healthy.
Good. Wow, that's okay, terrific. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, the only thing, well, he did report that the restroom, as a sort of parts one closed, the restroom was
Okay, yep. Okay. Nothing else for grass building trails and, ELT recreation program.
I guess this kind of goes into the buildings and trails to the report for the reservations for 2025. At this point, we still are open until the first weekend in November for pavilion reservations. But in looking at this report here, you see this for 2025, including the sport facilities were 234 reservations overall. The system kind of breaks down resident, non-resident, as well as demographics a little bit, male, female, and age. And you can see those in that first part. Then the reservations in comparison to 2024 were up a little bit. The total reservations only are 202. The 234 includes the sport facilities that we had added this past year. So 168 for last year, 202 this year. The pavilion revenue for this year is 18,425 compared to last year of 16,580. The sport facility increased was new, and that came up to 2,200 total for the year, bringing the total for all of the reservations total facility revenue to 20,625. So up a little over 4,000 from last year. And then we also have down into how many reservations were for each pavilion as well as each facility. I also included, so there were 80 reservations you can see for the ball field, 54 that was automatically just CV using the facility for their baseball programs. And then Sand Volleyball Court had 19 total reservations. The sport facilities, the numbers won't match up exactly just because they were divided into 2-hour chunks for the reservations. So someone might have a reservation, but also have reserved that facility for, 2 time slots or whatever. That's if you see it, see that. Everything.
Well, I'm thinking on it. If we do this basketball thing, that would also, I think, should be included in terms of rental with just like the ball fields and the volleyball. So that's something else that when the township's discussing that we should, it's just another facility that we're making available for rental too. So yeah, didn't think of that while we were talking, but looking at that, it would just make sense that that's included same way that volleyball and baseball fields are.
Yeah. Wow.
Any questions on that? On the as far as programming goes, we just completed our fall festival. We had on October the 4th, we had several hundred people that had come through and attended. We had acquired or we were given 120 pumpkins by area farmers. We ran out of those within an hour and 20 minutes. So again, we got good weather, which, increased participation, I'm sure. We had help from staff, CB students, a few of the parent volunteers, CB Seeds helped, Whitmer Fire Company, as well as Lafayette attended as well. So overall, it's a good event. We're always looking to change things a little bit and take suggestions from the community from those that help to see, what we can improve on our change for the following year. So, I think that's a program that's going well and just continue to increase in participation. Park Yoga has moved to indoors, it's getting a little chilly for them. They've moved to the old Smoke Town where Leola is currently, so they're currently doing that on Tuesdays. That's ran as well as our chair yoga that takes place in here. You can either do that as an individual session once, or you can take the 6-week session. We have it set up ways. And then we have quite a few programs that are coming up. Our next family movie night and Candy Scramble is coming up on Friday evening. Again, we're partnering with Allied Towing. They're providing hamburgers and hot dogs, helping us with the Candy Scramble. We'll have hot chocolate, coffee, and popcorn as well. So we're looking to hopefully have a good turnout for that. Hopefully it's going to be a little cooler weather, but that's okay. Bundle up. On the 29th, we are hosting in conjunction or partnering with the library for a fall-themed pajama book nook move, which would be a story and snack and a craft here in the township building. And then November 3rd, Ken's Gardens is going to host us, or we're hosting them for a holiday wreath decorating workshop. November the 3rd, Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office will hold a program to help prevent seniors from potential scams, and that will be held here in the afternoon. Again, on the 3rd, we are having a Blazing Sun Pottery lead us in holiday ceramic ornament painting. And then they'll kiln fire or fire kiln. They'll fire them in a kiln and then return them here for the people to pick up. It's 3 pieces for $30. They're pretty reasonable. I think it would be a good opportunity for families to do that. And that's going to take place over at the high school. We have another Zumba class planned for November the 6th. And then Smoker Breads is going to come on November the 10th. He can lead us in a sourdough bread making class. And that's going to be over at the school as well, in the Family Consumer Economics classroom. We have a bus trip planned for New York City on December the 13th. The deadline to register for that we've set this Friday. So if y'all are interested in traveling to New York City, get it in by the 24th. So that's everything we have going on for next month.
Yeah. A lot going on. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, a lot going on.
How do you know, putting the garden the same place next year?
At this point, we're planning on having them at the same location. Everything should be out of there by November the 1st, and Public Works is gonna throw that all down.
See, the front ones weren't rented this year. Was that because they weren't rented because they were so close to the road and you just ran out of people? Because they are.
Building.
Be concerned, I don't know if they could be moved to the back and leave the front a little more blank. I'd be concerned along the front there, people coming, if they're front along the road that close, people coming along or.
You don't. I mean, because of the tree and the shade.
I think the request again too, before they were going to consider about putting a privacy buffer there, like between you do everything else, if I could maybe request if you could get that approved for next year, put something in there, a screening between my property and the park. You know,
Should put. We don't put seat fence in for any other.
a screening, like the bushes and stuff, like you said, you're gonna put one at the pavilion at Flory Park, over at Tower Park for the person who lives there next, right?
Yeah.
Said you were gonna put one in there.
Going to.
Oh, I thought they were. But there for the people across the creek, right? You said about, putting the project there over at Glory West.
That is the,
That,
the homeowner is paying for those plantings.
my opinion. That's good.
Anything else? Okay, any old business?
We didn't really discuss rental fees for next year. I'm assuming we're going to just keep everything the same.
I think it's going well the way it
And
is.
yeah,
I can't, I'm trying to remember, did we ever, well, I think we just kind of said, well, it was like.
and then we'll just, I'm okay with it if it's working, and especially with this, the first year with the sports fields being charged. So that kind of upped the rental fee for some of the pavilions because it wasn't included. So I'm okay with everything staying the same and then just monitoring what other people are doing in terms of pricing. So just getting that.
From the pandemic too, numbers going back up again. I'm sure that has something to do with the rebound from that.
And I guess the only other thing I wondered about that was, is everything workable with the way you're doing the reservations, everything? Is that coming out? Because I remember that was a concern last year was going to be for the first time that we had the pricing for the facilities and everything like that separate. But so my only concern was, like this was like the shakedown cruise. And so now I want to see, if it worked okay, and if there's nothing that needs adjustment, then.
As far as the program we use, there were a few people who had some technological challenges that we helped when they came in. We have the kiosk in the lobby that we can do that. Other than that, at the very beginning when it first started, there were some people that had just them learning the system and all. But I would say, and stuff helps too, like the last 6 months, I probably haven't had too many people who had any problems with reservations other than, they have a glitch with their internet and they have to wait 15 minutes because the program thinks that the product's still in their cart and start over. But they, problematic with it. I think it ran relatively smoothly.
That's good. I mean, for the first year, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay.
Well, one little thing, is just thing on my part. Back there, you're going to do those wreaths with pine cones and all that stuff. You're going to make when you have your thing where they're going to come in and have that. Do you think Alexa's going to do that or something? You have build the wreaths and stuff.
Yeah, we're doing that over.
Say if they have made need for pine cones, just a bumper year for pine cones. There's thousands of pine cones laying there in the trees behind my house. I mean, you can't walk through there. I've never seen a bumper crop year for pine cones like this. And there's nothing you can really do. It's a most of them rot, but there's thousands up in there.
Project for summer playground. Like the
I already collect them stuff, but I just seen that.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds like
But that's,
an art project. Yeah.
I've never seen them like that. They're just.
I did have one update. We talked about the Lafayette Pavilion. And I think we mentioned that Clark has volunteered to build it. We have a meeting set up next Thursday with their staff and our staff to go over details. And stakeout for the pavilion itself set up for next week. So that's gonna keep moving forward. I think once they start, there's 6 to 8 weeks for the structure itself for delivery. So hope we get everything ready to go and still get it stood up this year.
Good.
The utilities might not be doing right away, but we're working on that right now.
Ultimate hope is that it's rentable for next year.
All right, okay. Any other old business? Any new business? Okay, and any public comment? We don't have any other public other than Nick again. You don't have anything? Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Okay.